What's up, Will Fiona, one fans and viewers? Scott Casey Gale here, and today I am going to give you my recap and review of American Crime Story season three. I'm going to give you my recap and review of American Crime Story season three, Impeachment, episode 9, entitled The Grand Jury. It was directed by Rachel Morrison and written by Sarah Burgess, and it was yet another really good, enjoyable episode. There's one more episode. Next week is going to be the season 3 finale, so one more episode left. Okay, let's begin with the recap, shall we? Here we go. Juanita Brother comes forward with the allegation that Bill Clinton raped her back when he was running for governor, and she was a campaign volunteer. Comes forward when the Ken Starr division of the FBI visits her home unannounced and prods her to correct her false affidavit. That is, it's a bombshell claim, but for Ken Starr, it's low key and inconvenient. He wants to charge Bill with lying and abusing his power. Rape is too distancing. Put her in a footnote, Ken tells an attorney, helping Bill to draft his report to Congress. A footnote with an appendix, actually. It's an appealing, ugly, entirely fitting metaphor for how the suffering of the individual woman is reduced to exhibits on his team's march to impeachment. As it pertains to the Starr investigation, an office that appears to employ one female attorney, a woman is either evidence or is in the wrong room. The Grand Jury is a scattered episode in the style of so many Pentiment TV episodes, as they hurry to place each character in finale position. The storylines don't so much build on each other as they do tessellate. Juanita, Linda Tripp, and Paula Jones, Hillary Clinton, Monica Lewinsky. We visit each multiple times because of impeachment. Bill Clinton isn't the star of the Bill Clinton story. The crimes are his share for. His punishment is mostly borne by the women unlucky enough to find themselves in his proximity, starting with Hillary. Even more torturous than being Bill's wife right now is in some ways being his first lady. Regardless of their personal estrangement, Hillary still has to report for duty, which includes watching Gene Jovial Russians play the recording and introducing the guy everyone's really there to see. The names of the Democratic Congress members was circling on an impeachment vote can find a sheet of letter paper. So Bill focuses his energy on shooting up support from a public figure with a perfect record of showing up to work. He hauls Hillary into the Oval for a tearful speech about how much he values her, how riveting he finds her dinner conversation. Everything good in my life comes out of us together. Bill tells her she's either unmoved, or pretends to be. Unless she falls in line by the end of the day, who can resist Bill's Tin Man routine? How the sorrows renders his joy even drier as he laments his fate as Andrew Johnson's part do. Hillary offers to call Representative Jim Warren and persuade him to close rank on impeachment. This isn't about Bill's affair anymore. It's about showing the GOP that haunting season is over. She'll give the Dems in Congress permission to forgive Bill's misconduct by publicly offering her forgiveness first. However, mortifying in other words, Mrs. Clinton said she would whip the votes herself. As for the East Wing battens down the hatches. Though the Joneses are folding, Steve's out of work. of both the acting and airline and ticketing variety. When a judge throws up Paula's lawsuit against Bill, suddenly Steve is furious that Paula didn't accept the settlement money that he obviously refused to let her accept months ago. She's pissed because pursuing the lawsuit made her famous, and now everyone's sniggering at her bubbles at a, at a, at a, at about at her bubble's nose, which she never even realized that her bubbles was bubbles before. Paula wants to move home to Arkansas, but Steve's too embarrassed. Everyone one back home thinks his wife blew the president, and Steve, in his heart of heart, suspects the same. In the middle of their fight, without asking without asking a single question, about who will care for the son, he grabs his keys and heads for the door. Yes, go leave. Good riddance, Steve. Meanwhile, then the trip was evolved into the grand dame of the resident inn. She initially checked in, and when the press staked out of her home, but she stays for the thrill of being an asshole. Um, so on the waffle for line. Her, her sequestered days have an unhealthy rhythm. Conti- Continental breakfast was stewing over her ugly news coverage. Frozen dinners. The coast is clear at the house, but maybe that's exactly what Linda fears. That her role in all of this is ending, and no one sees her the way she sees herself. Yep. She's persona non grata at the at the Pentagon, hanging onto her paycheck by a thread. Allison is learning about her family's secrets in the New Yorker, and the DOD investigating Linda for a youthful grand larceny charge. She's omitted from her security clearance application. Linda's paranoid delusions of a takedown by the Clintons have already come to fruition. No Clintons necessary. Before she can defend herself without endangering her immunity deal, though Linda is still has to testify in front of the grand jury, which is made up of 23 people who absolutely hate her guts. They hate her descriptions of Monica's neediness and voluntary as a friend, which sounds self-serving despite being accurate. They sensibly question why if Monica was so annoying, Linda didn't simply ask her to stop calling, and the feel was so bad for Monica. Why did Linda sometimes encourage her? Encourage her. Linda's received as terribly as Mike Emmerich worried she would be episodes ago. Somehow, she even manages to shoehorn into her testimony her suspicion that the first lady her suspicion that the first family killed Vince Foster. But when when Linda later shares her prepared remarks with the press, she seems like a different person, less angry and more duty bound and sad too. Because I am like you, I ask you to imagine how you would feel if someone when you thought was a friend urged you to commit a felony. Except she's not like us in one very unlikable way. Do you regret taping Monica? A reporter asked Linda when she's finished her speech. Her lawyers refused to let her take question. Yes, of course I regret it. This is horrible, she says. Which brings us lastly, Monica on the day of a grand jury testimony. If Linda's was a firing squad, Monica's more closely resembles group therapy. Disarmingly, she asks for the jurors' names, which are confidential. Then she invites them to call her Monica rather than Miss Lewinsky, as she did in real life. Monica explains why. I'm just 25 when a juror responds that she'll always be Miss Lewinsky, whether you're 25 or 28. Monica is very inch of her 25-year-old self. Coy, naive, optimistic. Not if I get married, she replies. These scenes are Beanie Felton's best work. Her Monica is so charming and humiliated. Monica made a calculated decision to embellish that side of her personality. When she's asked about sex, she's candid and soft spoken. But it's when she's asked about the most non sexual component to her relationship with the person that she's most sympathetic. She was in love with Bill. Now she's not. For some reason, and for so many of us fall in love with our partners, it turns out that he's not who I thought he was. It's Monica. It's Monica, not Linda, who feels just like us. When it's time to testify about uh, the day Stars team held at the Ritz, Monica asks Mike to leave. A move that speaks succinctly and effectively to how threatened and confined she must have felt that day. The jury is putty and on her hands. At the end, when they ask Monica if she was anything else has anything else to say, she apologizes profusely for the affair she did in real life. Monica adds with a flourish, and I hate Linda Tripp. It should be the end for Monica Lewinsky, but it's it's never the end for Monica Lewinsky. To prove that Bill perjured him perjured himself by his own twisty definition of sexual relations. Storm needs to prove that he's intended to arouse Monica. It's Kavanaugh yet again for more details, but who discovers a testimony gap, though they thankfully sent a woman to get the dirt. Under oath, Karen asks Monica to give a forensic account of who touched who, where and when, and whether it was through the underwear or under it. Monica testifies that she orgasmed the first that she orgasmed the first time she hooked up with the president. She tells him that once Bill penetrated her with a cigar. She doesn't need to tell him this. If she doesn't tell them this, then they'll never found out. But Monica's so beaten down and strung out that she's hardly up to weighing that choice. It's awful what they extend from her and the threat of putting her in prison for a crime that barely exists. It's a lie in the affidavit and when in a lawsuit that no longer exists. Monica is depicted as an unfaithfully kind. On her way out the door, she asks the pregnant lawyer whether she's having a boy girl. Someone still able to notice there's there's the other human beings and human beings, even as she's barely afforded the same respect. She's not a woman with private romantic the past, but has a walking spreadsheet of times and dates and sex. To the Ann Coulters of the vast conspiracy, she's collateral damage. And if Bill were able to evade impeachment, maybe she'd go from being a chap in the Clinton presidency to something smaller, that's skirtable like a footnote. Yes, they really did. And Monica Lewinsky did win hearts and minds with a grand jury testimony. In fact, jurors try to comfort her. Well, we're all falling short. We sin every day. I don't care whether it's murder, whether it's affairs or whatever. And we get over that. That one juror told Monica. You ask forgiveness and you go on. And so let you know from here you have my forgiveness because we all fall short as the episode ends. And I would give this episode 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, way up, and a solid 9 out of 10. It was a really, like I said, it was a very enjoyable episode. Next week is the season 3 finale. And I gotta say, as I said many times, I mean, Clive Owen is doing a phenomenal job playing the role of Bill Clinton. Then and then as I said, and also the best actress on the show is Sarah Paulson. She plays Linda Tripp up to perfection, and Beanie Feldstein is doing an amazing job as Monica Lewinsky. And Edie Falco is doing just a phenomenal job playing Hillary Clinton. And they picked the perfect actress to play the real life characters on this show. Ryan Murphy, he knows how to write a TV show, knows how to rewrite a real life story in a real life situation. Anyway, comment down below in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about last night's episode. So what do you think, and what do you think about American Crime Story Impeachment season 3 as a whole? And how do you think the season 3 finale is going to turn out? Anyway, you stay classy, live long and prosper, and peace out.